finally snowing. We've had almost no snow this year. I'm so pleased. All right, back where it's warm. Hi, so it finally happened. We got words on paper for what is maybe the most talked about environmental and climate document since maybe the Paris Climate Agreement, the Green New Deal. So I thought, hey, why not make a quick highlight video of all the parts that stick out to me as important or worth thinking about? And fortunately, I do not have to do that alone.
Hi, I'm Raya Salter, and I'm a clean energy attorney and advocate.
The Green New Deal as an idea has been bouncing around the progressive side of the Democratic Party for the last several years now. But let's break down what the official Green New Deal that just came out even is.
Well, first off, it's not a bill, it's a non-binding resolution. You can think of that as your New Year's resolution, or better yet, the New Year's resolution of your most introspective and committed friend. So if it passes, it's not like things are suddenly going to just start, but it will really make a statement about Congress's priorities.
And importantly, putting all of this on paper creates a more formal framework or guideline that the US can follow over the next decade to significantly reduce our carbon emissions, overhaul the economy, and create a more just society.
Now, that would be really nice, but let's examine this further. So the Green New Deal is a strategic clean energy investment agenda designed to respond to climate change while we still have time and stimulate the economy all over the economy, creating jobs and also creating a pathway to greater social equality. The idea is to recreate FDR's New Deal of the 1930s, when massive investments were made into public works projects, jobs programs, new regulations were created, designed to lift the United States out of the Great Depression. FDR's New Deal gave us Social Security, it gave us the SEC, the FHA, the FDIC, and just many, many, many other programs and institutions. The Green New Deal is essentially calling for similar investments, but this time centered around the clean energy economy. So the plan is to mobilize the United States to meet all US electricity demand with clean, renewable, and zero-emission sources in 10 years. Then the plan is to branch out into further investments in transportation, manufacturing, and make sure that the entire US economy is zero emissions by mid-century.
And believe it or not, the environment and the climate are inextricably linked to pretty much every element of our lives, something the Green New Deal puts front and center. This isn't a resolution aimed solely at clean energy investments. The authors recognize that to address climate change, we need structural shifts and equitable outcomes, which is why the Green New Deal includes not only goals of net zero greenhouse gas emissions, but calls for a just transition with community-defined resiliency projects, jobs with living wages and family leave, and healthcare for all.
Also, we get an important acknowledgement of the United States' really historic role as a major carbon emitter. This really provides the moral foundation on why we need to have this climate response, and this is also cited in the preamble of this Green New Deal. Along with all that, the Green New Deal highlights the systemic injustices of climate change, namely pollution, environmental degradation, and acknowledges that those who have done the least to contribute to the causes of climate change are going to be the ones to suffer its consequences first.
That is super cool, but the Green New Deal wants to do all of that economic overhaul and green energy mobilization in just a decade, by 2030. That is heckin' ambitious, if not impossible. There are few, if any, studies that show a practical path to net zero emissions in just 10 years. And I also worry that that kind of expedited timeline could force the Green New Deal into similar traps of the original New Deal. It only lasted a handful of years, it moved really fast, and it left some people behind. However, keeping in mind that this is a non-binding resolution, it's more of an agenda-setting tool.
I think is designed to be a placeholder strategy so that the policy can be developed and an aggressive climate response can be mounted when all arms of government are on the same page about it. And in this case, I think that won't be until the Democrats retake the Senate, the presidency, while keeping the House. This is, of course, incredibly important because, of course, the clock is ticking on our ability to mount an adequate climate response in time to avert climate catastrophe. And really, we have been planning this, we've got the technology, and we need to try.
Ultimately, the Green New Deal requires a lot of funding, and how we're gonna pay for this is pretty much an open question. And as the plan is currently, it's not perfect. I've seen good faith critics acknowledge that some aspects of the plan are a little hand-wavy or ill-informed, particularly in sections like the one about agriculture. If you want more information, I'm gonna leave links to a couple Twitter threads and further reading in the description down below.
So call it an ambitious blueprint, a call to action, a political threat. The green agenda has been snatched by the young Congress, and I am here for it.
And before we wrap up this video, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. Is the Green New Deal politically feasible? I don't know. Maybe not. But call your representatives anyway if the Green New Deal excites you. And if it doesn't, tell them why, and also tell us in the comments below.
Pass or not, this resolution, I think, is extremely exciting. We've never done anything like this since the New Deal, and certainly not anything like this that's centered around really the potential of a clean energy economy. I'd really recommend reading the document. It isn't even very long, and you can say you've read what will hopefully become an important bit of history, a possible turning point in our response to climate change.
And I'll leave you with this. Climate change is a big problem. To deal with it, we're gonna need big solutions. The Green New Deal is a big solution. And if anything, it's positioning itself so that a response to climate change is gonna have to be a priority of the 2020 presidential candidates. Thank you so much for watching, and an especially big thank you to Raya for helping me make this video. If you wanna follow along with her work, check out her Twitter and website, linked down below. Thanks again, and I hope that you're having a wonderful day.